The data engineer build data pipelines because they want to get their data into a place, such as a dashboard or
Hello, and welcome to Introduction to Data Engineering on Google Cloud. I'm Damon, and I am a curriculum developer at Google. Whether you already work in data engineering and want to learn how to be successful on Google Cloud, or you are looking to progress in your career, this course will help you get started. Through a series of lectures, quizzes, and hands-on labs, you will learn the fundamentals of data engineering on Google Cloud. This course was designed for data engineers or anyone interested in preparing and storing data assets for further usage in their organization. This involves using tools such as, but not limited to, Dataflow, Dataproc, Cloud Composer, BigQuery, Bigtable, and Datastream. In this course, you learn about the duties and responsibilities of a data engineer, identify data engineering tasks and core components used on Google Cloud to accomplish those tasks, understand how to create and deploy data pipelines of varying patterns on Google Cloud, and identify and utilize various automation techniques on Google Cloud to complete data engineering tasks. The course is divided into 6 modules designed to address the learning objectives. First, you look at data engineering tasks and components on Google Cloud. Next, you explore data replication and migration. Then, you explore each of the 3 main data pipeline patterns: extract and load transform, and extract, transform, and load. You conclude the course by examining automation techniques important to a data engineer.
In this module, first you learn about the role of a data engineer. Second, we will cover the differences between a data source and a data sink. Then we will review different types of data, the role of a... In this module, first you learn about the role of a data engineer. Second, we will cover the differences between a data source and a data sink. Then we will review different types of data formats that a data engineer will encounter. The next topic addresses the options for storing data on Google Cloud. Then we cover the choices available for metadata management. Finally, we will look at the features of Analytics Hub that allow you to easily share datasets both within and outside your organization. The data engineer build data pipelines because they want to get their data into a place, such as a dashboard or report. Discussing the role of a data engineer. What does a data engineer do? At a basic level, a data engineer builds data pipelines. Why does the data engineer build data pipelines? Because they want to get their data into a place, such as a dashboard or report or machine learning model, from where the business can make data-driven decisions. The data has to be in a usable condition so that someone can use this data to make decisions. Many times, the raw data is by itself not very useful. Once data becomes useful, the data engineer will often apply updates or transformations to add new value to the data. Of course, new data environments require data management practices to ensure currency and accuracy. Finally, data engineers create processes and operations to move data usage into production settings. In the most basic sense, a data engineer...
So I'm thinking the data engineer builds a data pipeline to enable data, but the first thing first, they don't have data. So their first task is to transfer this raw data into Google Cloud. So now the data is in Google Cloud. What do they do next? They ingest, that is, get data into the usable's condition, that is, like to try to clean the data. So ingest. So now we have like raw data, we have the CSV files, we can turn them into I have a microphone. Let me add it. So as we are still learning, I have a DJI microphone. You can see it here. So let me add it so we can hear each other. Running alone is very tasking on my mind. So I thought I would be going these lives to create an illusion like I have an audio as somebody who we are learning together, because I have a lot of work. So it should detect the mic. To connect it here, this one is switching to Bluetooth. When it is blue, it's searching for a Bluetooth mic. When it's green, it's searching for this connector. So now it's connected. Let me check. And by default it has a noise cancellation. You can see the green thing. So let me go to studio and enable the voice. Mic. Let me add. So did this. My screen keep on getting lost. connected to the microphone, so you can hear me. Okay. So we are in the part where we are saying you replicate and migrate. So first of all, you search for the data where it is, and you bring that data into Google Cloud. Once the data is in Google Cloud, now you go to transform. But in transform we have ELT, or ETL. I don't know the difference, but by the end I should know. So let's continue. That EL is extract and load. The other one is extract, load, and transform. The other one is extract, transform, and load. Then once you do that, you can be able you can store the data. And to store the data, we have data sinks. So to transform, you add value to the data and you enrich it. So while storing, you also have to provide security, like who can access this data, where is this data, will be used by which services.
Data engineer moves data from data sources to data sinks in 4 stages: replicate and migrate, ingest, transform, and store. The replicate and migrate stage of a data.
So let's go to the first stage of replicate. So like if I have my data in AWS, can I be able to move it to Google Cloud and then work on it? That's a question. So the services used for replicating, like for migrating this raw data, you can be able to migrate and maybe replicate. So there is this another service I was saying. Data, it's called data what? Data. I think it's a data connect. There is a Google service that can be able, you can connect it to your database in Amazon, and it's able to replicate, or I think it's Datastream. It is able to create a replica. You still have your database in AWS cloud, but it is able to go there And as data is being ingested in that database in AWS, it's able to create a replica also in the Google Cloud, like in real time. This is the what I studied. So to migrate and replicate the service we'll use, you can be able to use Google Cloud Storage. This is to store the CSV. Then storage transfer service. Maybe this is when you are moving data from local to Google Cloud. That is like uploading, and maybe also using AWS and Azure. Then we have transfer appliance. This is the same as Snowball. If you have studied for AWS Cloud Practitioner, you can be able to have these devices brought to your enterprise, to your premise. Then when they are brought to your premise, you can be able to upload your data. Maybe you have a huge data. You can be able to upload them to this device, and then they are sent to AWS data centers. Also, I saw a service where BBC used such a service, transfer appliance. So you can see we have online transfer. I think that is where we will use storage transfer service, online or offline transfer. Then change data capture. That is, I think that one is Datastream. That is where I was telling there is a service that can be able to detect your database is being changed, and it's not in Google Cloud. It detects that change and send it to a replica database. Man, technology is crazy. Okay. So let's see if this, oh shit, I don't know why my screen is frozen. Yeah. Okay. So I managed to do that. I have fully started the capture. Okay.
Pipeline focuses on the tools and options to bring data from external or internal systems. Start by discussing the role of a data engineer. What does a data engineer do? At a basic level, a data engineer builds data stages: replicate and migrate, ingest, transform, and store. The replicate and migrate stages
So this is the whole pipeline.
replicate and migrate, ingest, transform, and store. The replicate and migrate stage of a data pipeline focuses on the tools and options to bring data from external or internal systems into Google Cloud for further refinement. There are a wide variety of tools and options at your disposal. They will be covered in more detail throughout this course. The ingest stage of a data pipeline is the point.
So let's go to ingest. So now we have the data in Google Cloud. What do you think is the next step? I think ingest is like the transformation part. Let me write it first. Ingest. So ingest is to get the data into useful condition. Services used in ingest are the same: Google storage, Google Cloud storage. I don't know how it's used, but we'll learn. We have PubSubs. I can't remember about this. Spanner. I forgot about what was Spanner. They enable asynchronous messaging. Ingest I'm blank.
Where data becomes a data source and is available for usage depth. The ingest stage of a data pipeline is the point where data becomes.
So ingest, I'm thinking, is now you have the data in the Google Cloud. You have now the data sources. Once you have these data sources, how will you be able to transform them?
Stage of the data pipeline is the point where data becomes a data source and is available for usage downstream. Think of a data source as the starting point of your data journey. It is raw, unprocessed data waiting to be transformed into valuable insights. Any system, application, or platform that creates, stores, or shares data can be considered a data source. Two examples of Google Cloud products used in the ingest phase are cloud storage, a data lake holding various types of data sources, and PubSub, an asynchronous messaging system delivering data from external systems. The transform stage of a data pipeline.
Transformation, I think of it now, if you have just more data, maybe a CSV file containing maybe sales data. You say, I saw this data, like it's just the raw data, it has no total. We cannot be able to see means, like average of blenders you are selling, average amount you are getting, profit per each blender. Now if you have the CSV, say you have it in Google Cloud Storage, now we want to move it to transform. So now you have that CSV, you can be able now to be able to extract. That is where we have the transform service. So the first the idea in the pipeline, the first item you need to do is to do what? Transform, bring the data, like you search for the data. Once you search for the data, you store it in Google Cloud Storage. Then into Google Cloud Storage, you ingest. What did we say ingest is? Oh yeah. What is ingest in data transformation in data pipeline? We are saying data ingestion is the entry point. So you can be able to do streaming ingestion. Okay. You can do a batch ingestion. Okay, we have an analogy here. So ingestion is pumping station that takes raw water from the river. So now we have the river. Then pipeline is the network of the pipe. Sink is where we store like all this water ready to be transformed. Okay. Then so ingestion is the first part. I thought it's replicate or migrate. So you first get the data, then you do cleaning. Cleaning is where the transform comes in. So in entry point we have many, like now in the age of internet, imagine a smartphone is producing data, TV is producing data, my laptop is producing data, camera. Wow. So ingest is the entry point, like we have a service where all this data is being generated, then is stored somewhere. Okay. Then we have that all those messy data. Then maybe it's fuck. Once we have that data, we clean it. So this PubSubs was used for streaming. I know this is for Google Cloud is for file for CSV. Datastream is for database application. So this service, does it use the CDC? Let's check. So Datastream is the use the CDC tool. Also it's serverless. Okay. This service I really liked it. And I think because I have a website, I can use it. I'll be able to use it. I'll be able to use it in a near time. So we were on the data pipeline process. We have like a pump station. Pumping station is where like we are getting all those data. So this is maybe where we are getting data from. Let me. So this is where our all data is pumped, is being pumped. Let's say this is the pumping station. Then this data, we can be able to store it in cloud storage. Then we can be able to use like the Datastream, the CDC tool, you remember? Then, so here, let me show you. So we are saying these are generating data. Let's see, this is generating JSON. This one now is generating CSV. So now let's say this is our laptop. So we are saying in the data pipeline, so in data pipeline we have maybe this is TV. So we are Here we can say another format we know for data is XML. Any other data formats? Data. Maybe you can put text. So in data pipeline we have one is replicate. Two, we have ingest. Three, we have transform. Last one I think was store. Let me check. Yes, store. So let's go to our Gemini and see. So let me confirm something. So we are told by ChatGPT, Gemini, that replicate migrate and ingestion, like it's happening here in the pumping station. Because if you have this data, how will you move it to the to the store, to the Google Cloud? This should be Google Cloud. would you move to Google Cloud? One, you can be able to use the CDC. That was the data stream. Actually, it's there. You can be able to stream that data and use the PubSub. Then you can be able to use Google storage, cloud storage. So this is the first part, the ingestion. So we ingest the data here. Ingest. Then we can be able to replicate or migrate on the same process. Okay. So now we have the ingested data. What is the next step? Process, transfer. We can say this is the second process is data cleaning. Data cleaning. I have remembered something. So we are running a statistic course, and the first thing we were taught about was small block. So we were taught statistics is science of data. And it involves collecting, summarizing, summarizing. This is the sec. Correct, but it's the same. Collecting, summarizing, and what is collecting, classifying, Correcting colors, fine. Interpreting and organizing information. So I'm trying like to interconnect them with the data pipeline. So this is the science. And now if we look at collecting, you have the TV collecting the data. So TV, maybe a laptop generating that data. So we are this is where we have the first like the first process is collecting data, but collecting data you can use maybe questionnaire, surveys, we can have the maybe application like generating this data through maybe the ELD, the way you designed your database and how you want that data collected. So now we have collected the data. We have the data here. The data is stored in a certain format. For this we say we have stored it in a JSON format. This JSON format, let's say we have stored in our app like in the TV local storage. Now we want to move with this data. We can be able like to move it through like uploading. So we upload it to Google cloud storage. The laptop will still maybe do the same. But in the even ingesting data, we can have the two process. We can maybe be able like to stream the data. To stream, we use this service for streaming. Then we have CDC. This is maybe we want to have the live data. This is real-time data. So is this CDC and streaming the same? Do we have the, can we call it live data? Let me ask. Can we say so they are near real time? We have a delay of milliseconds and seconds. So PubSec, this one is the most near real time. So where is that cutting? This is the near real time. sorry. So we are in the statistic process, collecting data. We have already collected, we have the data. Now if we want to classify, summarize, and organize this data, we need to do a data cleaning. In data cleaning, what was spanner used for?